All right, what's happening, friends? We are live. Welcome to the Aloha Friday Hawaii Real Estate Show. We are getting the internets warmed up. We should be live on all of the different channels. So jump on and check it out. We got a great show planned for you guys today. Lots of information, some good questions, some good discussion points. We got our diamonds and deals like we normally do, and statewide market update. So as we get warmed up here, we got, of course, my buddy Mike from Maui ready to go. Ashley will be joining us soon, and we should have Ronnie joining us soon from Kauai too. And they are gonna just be coming in hot right at the last minute. So as we get started here, we wait till 10 a.m. We'll catch up with Mike. What's happening over on Maui, Mike? How's the weather? What's going on over there?
Hey, aloha, everybody. Happy Aloha Friday. And per usual, it's a beautiful sunny morning over here in Wailea on the south side of Maui. It is currently 77 degrees, slight breeze, high of 82, just like 98% of the time.
I love it. I love it. What does your morning routine look like on Maui? Tell us what the first hour or two of the day is like for you on Maui.
So first hour of the day is I literally wake up, brush my teeth, grab my dog, take him on a mile walk because I've got a little mini Australian Shepherd and he's got a lot of energy. So I start off with some movement to circulate blood and oxygen. Then I come back and I grab coffee, but I've already had water before. Then I have my coffee. And then usually I journal or meditate. And that's like a 15-minute routine. That's not a long drawn out process. And then I hit the gym. And then I come home and have my breakfast and then get on the computer to start real estate work.
Sounds like a great way to start the day. What's happening, Ronnie? I told everybody you were coming in right on time, and you're here. So it's 10 a.m. and Ronnie's here. What does your morning look like on Kauai, Ronnie?
You really want to know?
Absolutely. I don't need too many details, but I think yours is similar to Mike's, right? In terms of the walk in the morning, all that good stuff.
I wake up between 4 and 5. I sit in quiet meditation, inner contentment, if you will, for about an hour. Of course,
an hour. That's a long.
If you've got viewers that are watching who do that kind of work in their lives, you know that the mind isn't silent for the entire hour. So it's like doing battle. It's the battle of the inner work. Hi, Ashley. And then sometimes I go down to Kalapaki Bay to walk my dog, otherwise just around the campus here. And then I start my day. Sometimes it's a real estate day. Sometimes it's a make fun videos, get lost in AI day. Sometimes it's a go to Rotary meeting. And yesterday we had an incredible presentation about the coconut beetle and how damaging it is. And, it's already devastated Oahu here. It's been here for about 2 years. So we're trying to mitigate.
What are they doing to mitigate it?
Well, this councilwoman who presented talked about, there's a burning strategy with your mulch. There's injecting the trees with toxic stuff. And then there's, using drones to spray. And I guess the strategy is kind of to let the larvae grow and then kind of attack it. So I think the frustration that our councilwoman, Ferna Nui Holland, has is the counties want to blame, the state. It's the state's problem. But it's not high enough on the state's radar, or it hasn't been, to do anything about it. So it's, it's destroyed all the coconut trees in Guam.
Yeah. No, this is always an ongoing issue. I mean, coqui frogs and little fire ants, and there's always invasive species.
I never had to deal with coqui frogs except when I slept over at your home.
That's right. We have plenty. So if you want to experience coqui frogs, come to my house.
But anyway,
not if you want to sleep.
That's my day. Sometimes I go and mastermind with Dylan Nanaka, who brings new challenges and new insights to our real estate world and our lives. That's what I love about the show, about the people that join us, is the quest for sharing the love of Hawaii and the quest for becoming better, more caring people every day.
I love it.
What's happening? You know what they did here?
Go ahead.
You know what they did here on Maui over the summer with the coconut beetle? They had a tournament or a contest to go out and see who could collect the most coconut beetles. I don't remember who the winning person was and or how
I
many
hope
they
you
collected.
didn't win, Mike.
I wasn't part of it. I read the Maui Now article on it. I was like,
Yeah.
beetle hunting. Okay, I guess that could be an activity.
That's what we're
Yeah.
doing. That's what we're doing. All right. How's it going, Ashley? How's Oahu?
Good. We have no school again. Why is there never school? Wasn't like that
Hey,
when I was a
we got
kid.
one more week till spring break too. So spring break's gonna be no school either.
Right. And then we just came back from a 4-day vacation, and then there was a 3-day before that, and it's so good. Kidding aside, my girls were so cute this morning. They're 10, and well, she had a sleepover, a friend that's been staying with us, and they decided to go walk the beach this morning. So I got woken up in the dark and like, hey, we're heading down to the beach. We're gonna go watch the sunrise. I was like, not alone. And they're like, yeah, we are. We don't want you to come, Mom. That's so embarrassing. And I was like, you're definitely not doing that alone. And so I had to like get dressed to like I'm still wearing the same clothes because I just got back. And I go down to the beach and they're like, hey, we're going to go to our school now to go pick up an old book. I was like, no, you're not. We don't have shoes. It's not open. And they convinced me to walk barefoot in the Pokies to their school. It's been a great, sunny, beautiful morning. God is good. And I just live in the East Side Oahu life.
Well, to get you prepared for what's coming, my boys woke up at 3 a.m. this morning, took my truck to pick up their grandpa's boat, and are out fishing by themselves right now. So that's
How
the
old are
next
they?
stage. 17 and 15. So
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Ashley, you scared me there for a second when you went, my girls.
So my daughter's
I got
best
it.
friend.
I got it. But
is
when you first said it, I'm like, oh, I know she was pregnant.
I just had another one.
Yeah.
Time goes by fast. But there
Easy.
was a scary situation. And I hate to say this because Hawaii is a beautiful and safe place.
we're gonna talk about that later on in the show. So this is a good intro to that.
Really? Okay. This was
Yeah.
not intended because I will be honest, I didn't look at the slides in advance. But they insisted on wanting this independence because we live within biking distance to this beach town. And there's this really cute coffee shop on the beach, a Kauai market. And after going, they brought their money and they wanted to get themselves some breakfast. And I'm like, I'm just going to be a stalker and I'm just going to linger behind you all on my calls. And I'm so glad I did. And my instincts kicked in because I was wondering if I'm being overbearing or helicopter because, when we grew up, we got to go do our own stuff. And when we walked into Kauai market, there was a guy detained in handcuffs because he showed up threatening to people and had weapons on him. And everyone was very frazzled and there was police everywhere. And I'm the stalker behind. So they already have they're walking in and they're walking up to the guy just handcuffed on the floor, just ready to make an order. And I was like, excuse me, we need to leave. And they're like, yeah, could you? And they're just oblivious to what's going on around them. But I will let you transition into the rest of the show.
All right. Yes, let's go. Let's get into the show, guys. So if you're just joining us, this is our Ask Anything Hawaii and home buying show. So if you have any questions throughout the show, just jump into any chat. We're on every single platform out there and ask the question and we'll take it. We have always some pre-prepared stuff that we're going to talk about throughout the show. And Ashley had a good introduction into safety was a question we got from a viewer. So we'll take that question a little bit later on. But as always, let me remind everybody about our website, the new livinginhawaii.com. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go take a look at it. Again, it's the #1 place on the internet for information about moving to or living in Hawaii. Give us some feedback on the new layout. It's been a work in progress for the last few months and we're super stoked that it's live. So go check out livinginhawaii.com and make sure you're signed up for the newsletter. We have blog articles every week that come out, new videos that come out every week. And of course, we get reminders of this show so you don't miss us live every other Friday morning. All right, so Hawaii news. Let's get into the Hawaii news here. And we'll get some feedback from the crew here on these different items. So the first one is, and Ashley, I'm sure we'll take this in the Oahu market report, but there's a weird bifurcated thing going on with the Oahu market in terms of single family homes and condos, and single family homes are still very strong. Condos are not as strong, but we'll talk more about that in the market report. the Big Island has a new tier 3 tax on luxury second homes. So if you're looking to move to the Big Island and buy a house above $4 million, there is a higher tax rate than homes. There's 2 other tiers under that. And so that's one way. A lot of the other islands already have that tiered tax structure. And the Big Island is following in line with that and creating a kind of an ultra luxury tier for property taxes. And then another interesting thing that's happening for Airbnb and short-term vacation rental investors, and I'll see if the crew has any anecdotal feedback on this. I definitely have a couple of examples. Is the state is now, so the island of the Big Island had passed a regulation allowing for the counties to impose penalties on the platforms, the short-term vacation rental platforms. And I think what's happened with that is the short-term vacation rental platforms like Airbnb, VRBO are giving the county information as to who has listings on there, and then the county is checking that address database against their permitting database. And if you do not have a permit and you are advertising on one of these platforms, they are now finding the homeowners or implementing back taxes if you had a homeowner's exemption and maybe you're renting a additional dwelling unit in Ohana or a downstairs, you are not supposed to be doing that. And so something to be aware of. And now the state is going to pass something, or they're working on passing something similar where they will be able to impose fines and penalties on the platforms, which will allow them to further enforce the short-term vacation rental laws across the state. And then the last thing on the news update is there was a big news last year about these huge tax breaks that were coming to Hawaii residents that they passed, and then things changed with the budgeting projections, and now they're putting all of those tax breaks on pause. So no more tax breaks. That was big news, lots of positive media for the governor and the state legislature, and then it's actually not going to happen. So so let's jump into the crew here. What do you guys anybody want to react to any of this? Anybody seeing any anecdote? I have 2 separate clients that have issues with the Airbnb thing where they're coming up with, they're getting demand letters from the county for various things based upon their improper renting of their properties. So what you got on this, Ronnie?
Well, I think it's quite fascinating. For those of you not familiar with the vacation rental market on Kauai, our laws changed back in 2008 and 2009. And so Kauai has traditionally been the most organized or orchestrated of all the islands. And it was a long time ago that stuff started here with Airbnb, with Expedia, with VRBO.com. And I remember back when that was, first taking place, probably 7 or 8 years ago, the county hired a bunch of people for enforcement. And while I understand and respect adhering to the rules, I asked the director of planning what the ROI was, meaning how much were they spending and how much were they saving? Because I know they were just losing a boatload, by trying to enforce something like that. But I would say that things are really settled on Kauai. I don't know the number of non-conforming vacation rentals. Of course, we have 2 tiers. We have the visitor destination area, and we have the TVNCU, non-conforming use permit, that a lot of the luxury homes in Hanalei and places that are outside the visitor destination area can be on. So I don't know, what you're talking about sounds like it's spreading, kind of like the coconut beetle,
I think
to the other islands.
I think the other islands don't have that in their ordinance yet. The Big Island was the first one to do it, where they're going after the platforms, which makes sense because if you had like you're talking about, Ronnie, if you have the county hires a couple of people to go and scour Airbnb and VRBO, it's a very inefficient use of time, and then addresses are not actually on those properties, right? So it's hard to cross-reference against.
Well, no, it was the other way around. They made deals that said they had to provide. Those platforms had to demonstrate the vacation rental permit numbers and all that stuff.
Ah, got it. Okay.
So
okay.
going the other way around. No, that'd be like finding a needle in a haystack. Most of that prior to that was just whistleblowers. One time I listed a house that had been a gay B&B for 18 years. And like the week I listed it, all of a sudden the guy got, all these citations. I don't know how it works on the other islands, but the threat of a $10,000 a day fine.
Yeah.
What I thought was hysterical about it is that this guy had a ton of non-conforming improvements, right? Because it was set up with all kinds of walls and a B&B. And when I went down to the planning department to ascertain, all the inspector was looking for is to see that they took their website down. When they came on site, they weren't even looking at all the planning violations. I thought, man, this is really something.
This is the inside gory baseball, guys, of what happens in the real estate business for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, Mike, you guys got any reaction to the news of the week?
I mean, Maui's going through it with the short-term rentals here quite a bit. We've talked about this on previous shows, but late last year they did pass Bill 9, which is set to phase out all apartment zone vacation rentals in West and South Maui that were prior legally allowed to operate as vacation rentals. So it is definitely clouding the vacation rental market, and we'll see that when we talk about the statistics. But I think another big misconception is that a lot of people are claiming that these Airbnbs are in residential neighborhoods, and that's not the facts, right? I can understand not having Airbnbs in the neighborhoods or in local neighborhoods, but here on Maui, where all these vacation rental apartments are right on the main streets. They're not in local residential areas. So it's not a valid argument to state that you're taking away local housing when the locations of these complexes are not in the local neighborhood.
Yeah, there's a lot of flaws to the reasoning behind all of that. Let's just roll into market updates, and Ashley can tell us about the bifurcation of the housing, the residential and the condo market. So let me bring up the slides here. Oh, wrong one. There we go. So jump into Oahu first. What do we got, Ashley, on the Oahu market?
Well, just to touch on the Airbnb situation, Oahu, I think, has always been the leading man here on scrutiny around Airbnb, because we've been going through it for a while. And on Oahu, as of last year in 2025, it's a 90-day minimum instead of 30-day minimums. And that can be cracked down on anything built after 2025. If it's built before 2025, it's harder to identify if it had been previously short-term rented. So we, unfortunately, I think have it the worst at the moment. Maui maybe to follow. And Big Island.
We can all fight over that.
I'm really curious about Molokai, because Molokai is a Maui county, right? Yep. And I think that it's so small. You're from there. Your family's from there, right, Dylan? So I imagine.
No.
Oh, I thought one show you said you were, and I was all surprised. And I was like, what?
That might have been no. It's a misunderstanding.
Never mind. Oahu market. So single family homes have always sort of hedged stronger than condos, I think, across maybe the island, or maybe not. Oahu for sure. So for February, we ended the entire month at a surplus of 1.2 million median sales price, which was higher than 2025 and obviously higher than pre-COVID. But what shows its strength is the amount of closed sales. If you look to the right at the top, 182 closed sales compared to same time last year at 167, and very similar to the COVID market. The days on market are still just hovering at 20, which means it's about 20 days from the time someone goes on market to getting an accepted offer. Again, very similar to pre-COVID market. The condo market, however, I know what you're talking about, Dylan, but we actually had a really strong February in the condo sector. So February, we closed out at an average or median sales price of $506,000 compared to last year, which was $494,000. And significantly higher than last month, because last month in January, we were in 490s as well. So we actually had a strong February. It was very unprecedented. And then again, pretty strong sales. We had a large number of sales, but those days on market are pretty high. Keep in mind, too, that these prices and it's after people do price reductions. And the days on market are after some condos sit on market for a long time, then they go off market, they wait for a little while, and then they come back on at a stronger price or more aggressive marketing. So that can be skewed as well. overall, we had a super great February, and I expect we'll have a pretty strong March and April as well, because we have military relocation season coming upon us. So I think we're going to see a decent uptick in the condos. But yeah, overall, they've suffered in the last 2 years.
Cool.
You have different stats here.
Well, yeah, we don't have to cover these. We can jump into the next island. All right. So Maui, what you got, Mike, on the Maui market?
So the year-to-date stats show that there were 99 sales for single family, but that is down.
Let me jump in here real fast. So like, yeah, I mean, Ashley was talking about, the month of February. These are year-to-date, the last 2 months. So January, I think from previous shows, everybody remembers it was a very slow month, right? So what we're looking at here is year-to-date from January and February. How does it compare to the previous year-to-date? And condos, and the theme here, and the reason I put these slides into for every island, is there's a pretty strong theme across the state that so far 60 days into the year, it's turning out to be slower than it was year to date last year. So that's just an interesting trend that we'll talk kind of individually island by island about that. So go ahead, Mike. Sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, I have the February stats, so I'll share some February stats too. Ram just released those. But yeah, so single family homes were down 7.5% from last year to date. The median sales price, though, is up a little bit, 4.2%, but all of 2025, it hovered between 1.2 and in the 1.3 million range. So it's just kind of hovering around 100,000. And then the total sales volume, well, $164 million sold, which is obviously down 6.4% last year. Now, this is interesting to see the condo market. The condos have actually increased year to date 3.8%, up to 109. You guys can see the median sales volume is also down 8.4% to 710,000, with a total sales volume of 115 million. Land is up. And then but land sales are up, but again, median price is down. So condo market, land market, median price down. Single family, even though less homes were sold, the median price went up. But I'm going to share real quickly, for February of 2025, there were, for single family, 46 sales. But that's down 4.2% from 2025. Again, the median sales price that I have for February is actually down 10.4%. It was 1.395 last year. This February, it was 1.25 million. And it's still showing a decently strong buyer's market at 7.7 months of inventory for single families. Now, if we jump over to condos, okay, condos, they had 64 closed sales. So February was a really big month compared to last February. It grew 25.5%. So the condo market saw an uptick last month, but days on market for condos are up 5.3%, 138 days versus 131 days. So we're sitting on the market a lot longer than Oahu is, right, for both single family and condos. And then here's an interesting stat, and this is a direct correlation with Bill 9, guys. So the median sales price for condos last month was $847,000. Last year, it was $960,000, down 11.7%. And a very strong buyer's market here on Maui for condos. We've got 14.9 months of inventory. So kind of just like Oahu, single families holding strong. Condominiums, even though there were more sales, we've got a lot more on the market, and it's taking a lot longer to sell those.
Well, it would make sense, right? That if the prices continue to kind of get hurt and compress, then sales will go up. That's how economics work, right? Is you're going to see as prices start to come down, the number of sales should go up. That's what should make sense. So it just doesn't make sense on the single family side. Less sales and higher prices. So right. It's like there's all kinds of weird stuff going on in the market right now. Hey, I wanted to take this question real quick. So we got a question from a viewer about how much is one bedroom space to rent? Is it different on the islands? Who wants to comment on this? Generally what's a one bedroom go for?
On Oahu, your single family one bedroom versus a condo one bedroom, depending on the east side versus west side, it's going to depend significantly. So probably you'd be able to find anything from a room in a house renting from other people who have other rooms in said house, maybe $800 to $900. But if you're looking for a separate Ohana unit or condo, you're probably looking at $1,200 to $2,400.
Yeah. I think that generally holds true for all of our islands, right? I mean, it really depends on location, and then I mean, you can anywhere from like 900 to 2,500 is kind of whether you're getting a house or you're getting a condo. I mean, it's all over the place.
I've always seen it be reflective of the property prices in a given zone, in a given area. You know, what something sells for, what it rents for is a vacation rental, what it rents for is a long-term rental. I'm going to say probably move to the Big Island if you're looking to rent, Dylan. Here, a one bedroom is going to cost you $1,900, $2,000.
I bet, and I think Maui's pretty similar, right, Mike? I mean, it's a lot of times the Kauai and the Maui markets are pretty reflective of each other. So
I don't hear a lot of stats on people renting individual rooms in single family, but it's going to be over 1,000, probably anywhere from 1,200 to 1,600, location dependent, how nice the property is. But a one bedroom, one bath condo, they're going to rent for 2,500 to 3,200 here.
Makes sense.
I mean, we just moved last weekend. The Ohana that we lived in before, so I guess that could be single family, right? It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 950 square feet. Our old landlords listed that at 4,200.
There you go. Gives you a good idea.
We were paying $3,750.
My stepdaughter rents a place in Kailua, and it's a room that used to be a primary bedroom, and they built like a loft above the bedroom. So the loft is now the bedroom, and there's no railings or anything. Like I had to get sticky pads for her stairs because I was so worried. And I think she pays $1,800, and she has to park on the street, on a different street, and walk in and then walk around the path. And there's like 3 of them in a row on the side of this house that were all primary bedrooms. So you can find anything.
Long story short, it's expensive, guys. That's to rent here. So, all right, let's get back into the market update. What you got for us, Ronnie, over on Kauai?
Well, I thought I'd take a different look. I keep looking for ways to show numbers that are readable rather than all the data. And I think very similar to the other islands, and certainly Maui, as you said, we have a lot in common. The single family home market is stronger, right? The absorption rate is like 107%. We have more pending sales in February than we had new listings. And I think a couple of things. One, you're going to see as we go through the slides, the median price keeps going up. And to me, my interpretation is the wealthier people are buying. And I think even now with the instability in the world and oil prices raising and the situation with bonds, this is an environment where affluent people might pull their money out of the markets that they're in and put them into solid assets like real estate. So, that will create more demand, certainly for the luxury market, which hasn't been that strong. And, kind of the unicorn on Kauai is what can I buy for under $1 million? Since there's like 8 homes on the market for sale under $1 million. And, if that's the price range you're in, then it can be very competitive. You can still be in a bidding war situation. You can move on to the next slide. This again, resonates throughout the islands. Why did the median price in the Hanalei zone, the north part of the island, Kilauea, Princeville, Haiena, Hanalei Bay? Because again, sales that are happening at higher price points in the single family market, right? And the same thing in the Kaloa district where we have some of our luxury subdivisions. Next. Yeah. It's a tale of 2 markets, right? Just like Mike said, 35 new listings, 24 under contract. What does that tell you? The inventory, going forward continues to build. This is where buyers have the most leverage. And, I don't know what you guys think, but after, a year or so being in the 6% range, I think the hesitation of buyers, like waiting for lower interest rates, is kind of, dissipating, because this is kind of like the new normal that we're in, right? And even for, people that want to buy, they want to move up and they're hesitant because of the interest rates. When you think about appreciation, historically throughout the state, and you figure out what your mortgage payment is and your taxes and your insurance, actually you might be better off moving into the house that you want now. I think people fixate too much on the interest rate when the economics actually don't speak in that way. So that's my Kauai market report.
I like it. Good
If you want a
stuff.
list of all the homes under $1 million, hit me up. Won't take me long.
Slide Ronnie a napkin. He'll write them down on a napkin for you, right? That's all you need. So,
that.
All right. I just want to touch on this since we're kind of covering this on every island, right? This is the year-to-date sales for Kauai too. So single family homes down, condominiums down in terms of number of sales, and vacant land down in terms of number of sales. So
you can see the trend, right? It's the same trend. The number of sales are down. Single family homes, what are the prices doing? Condos, the number of sales down, and what are the prices doing? They're going the other way, right?
Yep.
So that's happening. That's like that's welcome to Hawaii.
Yeah, you didn't show Oahu's, but Oahu's is the same. I just saw yours.
Yeah. Okay, we can jump back to Oahu. We did that real fast.
Yeah, down, and then but median across the board is up.
Yeah. It's a very interesting market, guys. I mean, that's definitely true of the Big Island too. I mean, we're down 8% for single family home sales, down almost 5% for condominium sales, down almost 30% for number of land sales. But land prices went up, and single family homes is about flat, and then median prices for condos is down 7%. So very interesting stuff going on in terms of the dichotomy of what's going on in the real estate market. But I think the long story short here is statewide, the year is starting off slower, which is interesting because 25 was about as slow a market as we thought we could get in terms of number of sales when you look back historically, and it's to be starting off even slower is it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the year pans out, but it's definitely slow. So, all right, any questions about the market from anybody before we move on? Okay, let's move on. And Ashley introed this earlier. So the question we got from a viewer was, how are the islands addressing crime and gun-related issues, and what should visitors, especially women, know about staying safe while walking around the islands? So we can tailor this towards, and I have some data that we can look at next. But in general, what do you guys think about safety in Hawaii? And I think there's probably two ways to put this, right? Violent crime versus property crime is normally how they categorize crime and safety. But how do you guys feel on your islands in general, especially because everybody has lived in other places, right? How does Hawaii compare safety wise?
So I just Googled Maui's crime statistics because, again, subjectively speaking, it feels very safe on Maui. Yes, you're going to have those one-off incidences, but you're going to get that stuff anywhere. I mean, a majority of the crime is car theft here. That's a really big thing on the island. You'll see all over the highway or areas, just abandoned cars on the side of the road, stripped of their tires and stripped of parts, and then they just sit there for a while. What I find very interesting on that is when you see people literally in broad daylight on the side of the road pulling parts from those cars, and there's no punishment for that. Like that baffles my mind. Like I don't get it. But going back to the Google, I literally just Googled Maui statistics. So they didn't have a February statistic yet, but really quickly, the what happened as of early March was there was one fraud scam. A man pleaded guilty for wire fraud. Public safety authorities warned of a text scam claiming to be from the DMV regarding unpaid traffic citations. And then 2 arrests were made regarding illegal poaching on private ranch land up in Haiku. And then it says general safety. Hawaii is considered one of the safer states, ranking 7th in the nation overall for safety, according to Wallet Hub data. And it gave a rating of, so Hawaii in early 2026 has a violent crime rate of 1.84 per 1,000 people, which is well below the 4.43 national average for violent crime.
Yeah. So what about like first-hand knowledge, guys? Like Ashley just shared about kind of her incident this morning, but in general, how many times in your life have you experienced that?
I mean, I think from a woman's perspective, we might be walk through this world in different shoes than men, if we're being honest. So I think we always have to be a bit more vigilant no matter where we are in this world. But overall, I mean, if you compare Hawaii to other major cities, and Oahu is the major city island of them all, it's generally safe. I mean, sure, you still need to be vigilant, but we are one of the safest states and cities in the nation. I think we rank 21st, like safest. We have 1 out of like 500 serious crime rates. We're mostly property crime related. And of the serious crimes are often internally with, certain homeless communities or low income communities. So even going further into that, certain neighborhoods are far more safer than others. So I think I find myself very safe. I walk around at night with no problem, but I still keep my earbuds out and pay attention. But I couldn't imagine living in a better city.
Yes,
and I would
Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I would piggyback on what Ashley just said here in Maui. Other than the property crime, I think a lot of the crime is internal. It's not necessarily targeted towards visitors or violent crime on the visitors.
Yeah, it's like families that are fighting. Like anytime we have like gun and to specifically address the gun related issues. One, we have probably the strictest gun laws in the entire country and some of the lowest violent crime with firearms in the country. But a lot of times when we do have it, it's like families fighting with each other or something. It's not necessarily, somebody trying to armed robbery or anything like that you see in other places. But we go from the big city to the probably the safest island, I would say is Kauai. Would you agree with that, Ronnie?
Yeah, roughly 2.84 violent crimes per 1,000 residents in a year.
That's ridiculously low, right?
So,
lowest in the nation.
Yeah,
there's like hardly any people there except for billionaires.
No, I think I mean, you think about the amount of tourists on the islands, right? The weak spot, I think, probably for Maui and Kauai, are tourists. Tourists leaving their cars open, leaving their vehicles unlocked. That kind of nothing with guns or violence.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if someone gets arrested, it like makes the front page of the paper. So I kind of chuckle. Of course, I grew up in Philadelphia and I spent 17 years in LA. So this doesn't seem like crime to me, no matter what happens. But I think if you're coming to visit, you just got to be mindful. That's the only place where, there's any kind of safety concerns. Don't if you got a bunch of stuff in your car that's valuable, lock it.
Yeah.
On Oahu, I will say in the last 48 hours, we have had a armed robbery in Lai'ie at gunpoint. We had just today at 4:30 in the afternoon, attempted stabbing down by the hospital. And I was just at Kalapawai and a guy had weapons who threatened violence. However, it still weirdly feels safe. And I know that sounds weird. I think we just have more information at our fingertips that we receive it so instantaneously because of our cell phones. I think the crime has always existed for everyone except for Kauai.
Well, and the other aspect to it in Hawaii is because it's so rare, it gets a lot of news coverage, right? Like when one bad thing happens, it gets a lot of news coverage. If you live in LA, there's 20 murders a day, and it's like it doesn't get covered as often because it's just a commonplace thing, right? There's lots more crime. So yeah. And these are the overall stats is in this whole entire state. It's 218 incidents per 100,000 people, which is 40% lower than the US average. So that's US average. And again, I think it took out many other safe places. If you compare it to a big city or many of the unsafe places in the country, that number goes up much higher. But we're among the top 10 safest states in the country. So safety and crime it happens. It's everywhere. There's no way to get around it. But I think the short story is in Hawaii, it's much lower than it is in most places. So cool. All right, guys, let's get into our diamonds and deals here. And every week we pick out a featured property that's either a diamond, something that's amazing, or a deal that we think is a great value. And we'll jump right in here and get into Maui. What you got, Mike?
Okay. So the last couple of shows I brought diamonds, because who doesn't like to dream big and see luxury properties? But the other half of this segment is deals. So this week I brought you all a deal. This is located at 1993 South Kihei Road. The condominium complex is called Island Surf. It's a 1-bedroom, a 1-bath. It's 602 square feet. It is $650,000. It has been on the market, the days on market for that one, 23 days on market, and they've already done a $25,000 price reduction. But the reason I highlight this one, and before I note that, it is listed by Todd Hudson from Keller Williams Realty here on Maui. The reason I find this is such a great deal is that this complex is hotel zoned. So it is protected from Bill 9. So if they do continue with phasing out the Airbnbs, the vacation rentals, this complex will still legally be allowed to operate as a vacation rental. So it's kind of like New York City, right? With the taxi coins. If you've got one of those taxi tokens to operate a taxi, it's like you're sitting on a little gold mine here. I don't have actual, I didn't get a pro forma from the listing agent on the rental, but the potential rental revenue. But if I look at what my 1-bedroom, 1-bath did close to this building, not with direct ocean view, like literally you see the ocean right there. It would probably be a 1-minute walk across the street to put your feet in the water. You could probably look at grossing around $80,000 for this one. That's gross. You still have a lot of other expenses. And then if you're not operating yourself, you're going to have a 25% management fee here. That's standard across most companies, vacation rental managements here. But still, it's a highly desirable location. Literally right next door is what's called South Maui Gardens. It's a nursery that they turned into a food truck center. So literally a 1-minute walk across the other street, you've got food trucks. And this is right on the main strip in Kihei. So you're a couple of minute walk from all of the restaurants or shops in that area.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Ashley always asks, what is the HOA fee? She loves to know.
You knew what I was going to say.
So surprisingly, I mean, it's right in line with what we see in the condos, but this building being just directly across the ocean, their maintenance fees are $894 a month. Now,
anything under 1,000 is good. Most of these types of complexes.
Yeah. But they also have the tax information. So because they're vacation renting it, they're going to be at a higher tax bracket. And this one says it's at $703 a month for property taxes. So you're still looking at about $1,600 just between your taxes and your maintenance fees. But you're going to find that is a pretty standard amount across the board. For the condo ranges under $1 million. Things change because we have that tiered tax system here. As you go from under $1 million, one tax rate, 1 to 3 million, the tax rate, and above 3 million is the highest tax rate. So yes, if any investors are watching this one and you're looking for a protected vacation rental, reach out and I'd love to show you this one.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Good stuff. All right, Ashley, what do we got on Oahu?
I love this. Is definitely a diamond, and I think a deal if you just have 14 million. So this is listed by another EXP agent and a good friend of mine, Shereen Duncan, and her agent James Kiko. And this is 2 houses for one. It's literally 2 TMK numbers. Like you have to actually put both of these into a contract because they are completely separate, but he wants to sell them together. The seller bought it for his son and for his boys, and he wanted them to live next to each other. But you can just pop a fence in between it and then go and sell one off. So you have one of your own, or maybe you can just do the same. And they both have their own saltwater pool. And these houses are just magnificently large. You can see in this photo on the left, it's got this walking path and it's gated, and you can walk down to the ledge at the bottom. So like no one's down there unless if you know how to get down there. You can go fishing or you can go swimming when it's low tide, and there's a surf break around the corner too. It has got the most magnificent views of Diamond Head, and you look out on the water going towards Diamond Head and Honolulu Range, and it is such a spectacular piece of property. It's an estate. It's almost an acre between the two houses combined, and about 8,000 square feet of living space between the two houses combined. And this is in Kauai. So it's over on the east side of the island. If you go to the next slide, I have a couple more photos because there's just so much goodness. And that's all the goodness right there. The two houses and the views from each one. And one of the houses to the right has retractable metal shades that go down. They're all remote. So if you leave and you want your house to be weather and crime protected, not that there is any in this area, you can just press the button and all of your metal shades go down, and everything is like renovated, and everything, you press one button in some other room and it turns the light on in the bathroom across the house. It's a spectacular property. So anybody who is into luxury investing or wants a family estate, this is for you.
This is killer.
My question is which son got the bigger house?
Neither one of them moved into it. Like one is just vacant and the other one has a tenant just waiting, and neither one of them wanted to move here. So he's like, well, I'm tired of holding these things. I'm going to sell them. And this is cliffside, so no flood insurance because it's on cliff. It's not direct beachfront. And it's one of the most prestigious sides of the island as well. But yeah, no sons lived in it. So make this dream come true, people who are watching. Make my dream come true.
Must be nice being in that family.
I was just thinking that. Wow.
Me too.
All right.
Are they? You know if they're adopting anyone?
I asked, so no. So I'm hoping whoever buys it adopts me and then gives us one of them, and then I can take care of them as they age.
All right, looks like Ronnie, I got you loaded back up here. So let's jump.
Yeah, Mike inserted over my slide, but that's okay. I won't hold it again. The lowest price in Princeville. Actually, I just lowered it 10,000. So correct. Can you bring in your telestrator and change the 4 to a 3, 739? Okay, to get that ocean view at the cliffs, you actually have to walk a few steps to get out on the bluff. And it's just an amazing resort with beautiful pools, jacuzzi, tennis courts, pickleball courts. How's your pickleball, Ashley?
It's doing great. Yeah. I can't wait to come play with you. I especially love how you put a flower in the middle of your pool.
I won gold in the 3.5 seniors.
Oh, you did, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, you're on my team.
Yeah, anytime. I love playing with younger people, beating their ass. Anyway, it's a great opportunity. I don't think our numbers, it's curious. I've always wondered about this, at least for the last 20 years, Mike. I think vacation rentals earn more. You know, I think the daily rate is higher on Maui than it is on Kauai. Not sure why. But yeah, this place wouldn't grow $80,000 a year. The homeowners fees are $1,153.18, in case you were wondering.
I was.
So yeah, why not the same kind of level of gross, Ronnie?
I really don't know. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's a wealthier clientele that goes to Maui, but I don't know. I think we have more billionaires than Maui. I don't know.
Well, Maui has more
when people are exploring,
fees are higher.
When people explore these kinds of property, there's many different angles, and if you're if you're watching this and you're thinking about a condo, you really need to work with a trusted advisor, because you want to check out the income. You want to check out the health of the association. Are there any assessments coming up? What are the management opportunities? How is the homeowners association to work with? So there's a lot of things to know other than the pretty views that you can see there of the pool and the ocean. And it's not that easy. If you're looking in the long term, if you look at Hawaii long term, everything here is a great investment. If you're looking at the short term, the volatility in the world can tweak our tourism numbers in a heartbeat, right? So you need to be prudent if you're depending on that income. But certainly for many people, it's a way to get a toehold into the neighbor islands and use it occasionally and have it pay for itself, hopefully.
Cool. Funny. We kind of have a theme here. Go ahead on the.
I was going to say, I run into this question every open house I sit with investors that want to come in and buy the condos. And my answer, I have two answers. If your objective of investing is to create a lot of ROI, generate cash flow, you're looking at the wrong place, right? It's just right, especially right now. If you were to buy right now with tourism numbers and then nightly rate numbers, you're not going to generate a lot of income. So I would just suggest find another market, not Maui's market. Now, if you're an investor who, like Ronnie said, was trying to get your toe in the Hawaii market or have a long-term hold strategy, or you just have the income where you need to write off some taxes, so you purchase real estate, that's a different conversation to have. If you came to me and said, hey, Mike, we love Maui. We've been coming for 15 years. We're ready to buy something, but we don't really care about making money on this. We don't need to make income. We just want to have a place where me, my friends, family can come stay several weeks of the year. And then we'll rent it out from time to time on the side just to recoup some of the operating expenses, to cover that HOA fee or the property taxes. That is a much different conversation to have than if you're trying to make a bunch of rental revenue on the condo market here.
Yeah, I learned that through the for years we had a partnership with Bigger Pockets. They're an investing group online, right? And we would get queries from people that were looking to invest in Hawaii, and the expectation of what they wanted on ROI was always, I mean, this is people who want cash flow, right? I mean, this is almost exclusively people who are looking for immediate cash flow and investments. And it's like the ROI never works in Hawaii for what you can get in many other markets. So yeah.
And another strategy with the investors is like the fix and flips, right? And I really, really caution investors that don't live here to go that strategy. One, your carrying cost, we just saw the median was 1.35, right, for single families here in Maui. So your carrying costs are going to be a while, but this isn't the mainland. You're not going to get your remodel done in 2 or 3 months. You got to think. Labor is an issue. Quality labor is even harder to find.
Permitting,
material,
right?
Permitting, material. Oh yeah, permitting right there alone can take 1 to 3 years. So can you hold that property for 3 years before you can even do any work to it? I don't know. And then material time and cost. We're 2,500 miles from LA. We have to ship most of the stuff here. So again, that traditional investor mindset is, I want to come in and in 6 months we redo this and make a 25% margin on this. That is not the reality here. And unfortunately, again, if you don't live here and you don't know contractors, there's a lot of shady people there. They'll take your money and then just won't show up. Quit answering your phone calls, ghost you. So I'd really, really caution investors on, if that is your strategy here in Maui and you don't have connections or you don't live on the island.
Yeah, good advice. All right, let's back. So this we didn't have a theme here, but I also picked out a vacation rentable condo here in Kona, and this is Kanaloa at Kona, and it's on like this kind of peninsula. This is the overall complex. This one isn't on the water, but that's why it's priced so well. I mean, $585 for 1,000 square foot, one bedroom, one bath, very big condo. These rent extremely well. The ones near the water go for over $1 million. So, in terms of price per square foot in the complex, you got really good comps and a really strong kind of sub market there. But this is in Kihei, right down the street from the Kihei shopping center. There's a great golf course right surrounding it, but killer opportunity. And this is like the best priced one. There's several in the complex available, but this is by far the best priced one. So, great opportunity and safe from any type of future vacation rental regulations, because it's in the resort zone and totally legal. Just apply for a permit and you get it super easy. So, all right, we're right on time, guys. Let's roll into our closing thoughts before everybody goes. One more reminder, guys, that go to livinginhawaii.com if you have not. Sign up for the newsletter, check out the new website, and just stay connected. We're always putting new content out there, and it's actually way more content than we used to. We used to do kind of one show every other week, and now there's shows happening every single week that are recorded, and we're posting that content in addition to this live show. So check out livinginhawaii.com. All right, so closing thoughts, guys. Who's up first? Oh, Ronnie. Ronnie, one more slide that you're gonna have to come off the top of your head on this one.
No, that's not my slide.
Oh.
Did he go over that slide too?
They're labeled at the bottom. Mike's, Ronnie's, Ashley's. This one said Mike's.
It's a live show, guys. It's a live show. Okay, who's this? Who's this?
And it was blank. It was blank when I did it at 9:30.
Whose is this one?
So, okay, so we'll read mine. Mine is, don't bother just to be better than your contemporaries or your predecessors. Try to be better than yourself. Now, I had no idea who William Faulkner was, so I pulled out Google and Googled William Faulkner, and apparently he was a Nobel Prize-winning American novelist and short story writer in the early 1900s. Nice.
Love it. Absolutely. Only competitions with yourself, right?
Yep.
Okay, you can go back if you want mine.
Oh, okay, let's go with this one, and I gotta refresh and
that's not mine.
Oh, it's not yours either.
I have a picture of me and my daughter on mine.
This isn't Ronnie. This isn't Ronnie either.
That's me.
Okay, there you go.
Ronnie, say something.
I was looking for something to just say that reflected gratitude in a world of turbulence and chaos. If the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough.
That's good. That's a solid reminder. Absolutely. All right, Ashley.
As my favorite song, Biscuits, says, pouring salt in your sugar, don't make mine any sweeter.
Words of wisdom right there.
I'll have to go check out Biscuit.
It's our theme song of the year, and it is full of gold nuggets. And I was rocking out to this yesterday, and I was like, ain't that the truth? Like, yes. Just love, and there is no purpose on hating, because it doesn't make your life any better.
I love it. All right, and I got, guys, anything truly worth doing should not be started at a future date. So every time you tell yourself, I'm going to start that diet next week, or I'm going to start doing this good habit next, or I'm going to start going to the gym next week, or whatever it is in life, or I'm going to start, being more grateful sometime in the future, whatever it is. There's no, if it's really worth doing, start today, start now. Don't put it off to some future date. And same thing is true if you're planning to move. You always hear people say, like, I'm planning to move in 2029. And it's like, well, if it's your dream and you want to do it, why not do it now? Why wait till 2029? You could be dead, right? You never know what's going to happen. So, all right, guys, awesome show. Like always, again, visit livinginhawaii.com. Check out the new website. We'll be back in 2 weeks on March 20th. Let's go around the horn and say aloha, everybody. Ronnie first.
Well, I just want to say to Daniel, who posed the question 1 minute ago, that
let's cover that. Let's cover that.
Nothing's going to happen on Kauai. We can't afford to lose the tax revenue, so you're safe here. Have a wonderful Aloha Friday. Have a safe weekend. Cherish those you love, and call someone that you haven't talked to in a while and connect.
Love it, Mike.
Hey guys, have a happy Aloha Friday. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend with your family, friends. And if you're on the mainland and you need a warm vacation, we've got 4 beautiful islands to come visit. Make your Hawaii trip.
Let's go.
Major islands, 4 major islands.
Yes.
Aloha,
Ashley.
everyone. Have a good day. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, have a good weekend, everybody. Hey, Daniel, if you have any questions, reach out to us. Go to livinghawaii.com. We got forms you can fill out, and we'll get in touch with you. We can give you a whole breakdown on the specifics. And we've actually covered this multiple times in the past on the show. But yeah, we'll get you all the information you need on short-term rentals. That's a long question to answer on with a short amount of time left. So again, thanks everybody for joining. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Aloha.